And we are live. Sorry I didn't add myself to the stage. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Crypto Sherpa channel, where I'm going to be covering some crypto news articles for you, so that way you don't have to read them. You can just listen to them, because who has time to read nowadays? We're always on the move. So if you're in your car listening, just soaking up the knowledge, kudos to you. But yeah, we got a couple altcoin news, not so much any Bitcoin news in here, just we're talking about the SEC's crypto roundtable happening tomorrow. So where's the price going to go with that? I don't know. Is it bullish? Is it bearish? What even happened last time? Like, this is their third roundtable event going on, and I don't know. I'm afraid of how the price reacted to the news. It really depends on what they talk about. Like, this one's really going to be about crypto custody, so I'm not sure how really much is going to affect the price of it. But there's so much other news as we cover throughout the week on like why Bitcoin's just going to boom like right now. But yeah, let's get through the news and cover a couple of altcoins articles out there. Just keep you informed on what's going out there too. So here we go. First up, we have the crypto custody is in the spotlight at the SEC's April 25th roundtable event. So yes, this takes place tomorrow. So definitely tune in if you want to listen to the live events, or you can just wait for me to cover an article on what they discussed. But Paul Atkins, the current chair of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, will attend the crypto roundtable, which will occur on April 25th, 2025. Before the conference, the commission has also organized a roundtable on April 11th. Now, the roundtable held on April 11th was focused on between a block and a hard place. Tailoring regulation for crypto trading, and upcoming roundtables is focused on know your custodian, key considerations for crypto custody. So last one they talked about crypto trading, this one's going to be about crypto custody. Now, who's going to be attending this event? Well, some known dignitaries, so they're calling it, or dignitaries of this roundtable include Richard Gabbard, the chief of staff of the crypto task force. We got the chair, Paul Atkins, the commissioner, Hester Pierce, Commissioner Mark Ulita, and Carolina Crenshaw, the commissioner at the Securities and Exchange Commission of the U.S. Now, the roundtable will focus on crypto custody and will be moderated by Zach Zwehorn, Davis Polk, and Wardwell LLP. And also some major panelists of the event are Baylor Myers, Veronica McGregor, and Jason Allegrante, as well as two others, Mark Greenberg and Terrence Dempsey. Now, and for this session that is to be held after the break will be moderated by the same moderators, yet the panelists are Mike D. Dewick, Larry Florio, and Adam Levithan. Now, leader of Crypto Task Force is Hester Pierce, and he said that the Crypto Task Force Roundtable are opportunities for us to hear a lively discussion among experts about what the regulatory issues are and what the Commission can do to solve them. Now, the next roundtable, which will occur on May 12th, 2025, will focus on tokenization, and the last will dedicatedly address the issue and challenge and others in DeFi. Now, experts closely analyzing crypto and concerning laws have argued that these roundtable conferences and discussions held by the Crypto Task Force under the guidance of the SEC will help the digital asset market to gain clarity over their stance and legal clarity over the products, assets, and commodities. Now, will the crypto market react bullishly on April 25th? Well, until publishing, the crypto market cap was $2.89 trillion, with a loss of 1.89% in the last 24 hours. And the crypto fear and greed index was at 53, reflecting a neutrality in the VAST, which is also determining the stabilization in the market. So yeah, we're in neutral territory. People aren't fearful about like the market, where we're going. They're not fully bullish yet or greedy in that theory, but they are neutral. So hence why we're seeing like this nice little market right now. But according to the data from CoinMarketCap, the industry gainers list has been ruled by official Trump, followed by Onyx Coin, Pol, Walrus, Sui, Arbitron, Caspa, CurveDAO, Pax Gold, and Tether Gold. But at the same time, the intraday list has been topped by Immutable, Dexy, how do you say that? DZ, I'm trying to think if that X is a Z sound, DZ, Bonk, Movement, Farcoin, Pepe, Jito, Render. But this list of most trending cryptocurrencies have been ruled by Alpaca Finance and Synapse, MemeFi, Official Trump, and Wing Finance. Now, Official Trump had a nice little pump going on these last 2 days. Like yesterday was up 20%. Right now we're seeing it's at 17.5%. But what exactly is causing this spike? Like, yeah, Bitcoin rebounded 10 grand in the last 2 days. Like just last week, we're in the 84, 85 range, like for a month's time span. But now it's like what's going on with Trump coin? Why did we see that coin get a real big pump? Well, it looks like the US president planned a dinner for Trump meme coin holders and triggers a 52% price surge. Now, will this last? President Trump's announcement of an exclusive dinner with the top 220 holders of this meme coin triggered a price pump. The data questioned its sustainability. Now, official Trump jumped 52% on April 23rd after the announcement of an exclusive in-person dinner for the top token holders with US President Donald Trump. Now, for some crypto advocates, this marks the end of the bear market, especially as Bitcoin is at 93,000 and bounced back above the 93,000 mark, but others raise suspicions on how sustainable the Trump meme coin rally really is. Now, from a purely performance perspective, the official Trump meme coin has been a disappointment. After soaring above $75 on launch day, its gains quickly disappeared as investors noticed the high concentration of the tokens and the short-term vesting period. Now, at first, it is difficult to justify Trump's current market capitalization of $2.6 billion, given that 80% of the supply was allocated to founders and entities controlled by Trump. Now, for comparison, well-established projects such as Arbitrum, Jupiter, and Maker hold a capitalization below $1.6 billion. Now, those tokens' valuations derive from buybacks using treasury reserves or direct benefits in staking and DeFi mechanisms. Now, for instance, if Arbitrum, a leading Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution, holds $2.4 billion in total value locked, and Jupiter, the leading decentralized exchange on Solana, boasts $2.3 billion in deposits and has secured $76.6 million in fees over the past 30 days. According to DeFi Llama data, that meanwhile, Sky, formerly Maker, the project behind the extremely successful DAI stablecoin, holds $5.9 billion with a total value of $28.6 million in the 30-day fees. So, why is it holding that compared to the others? But Trump still ranks in the top 10 for trading activity. Yeah, it's because of trading. Now, besides being listed on major exchanges, including Binance, Bybit, OKX, Coinbase, Upbit, and Kraken, and often promoted on social media by Trump, the meme coin holds an impressive share in derivative markets. Notably, its futures opens interest stands at 700 million, a top 10 overall. Now, here is the chart showcasing Trump's futures aggregate open interest on the USD market. And yeah, we definitely saw that spike right there. But established projects with market capitalizations of over $6 billion, such as Chainlink, Litecoin, and Polkadot, have smaller future open interest than Trump. Still, while demand for future markets allow larger traders to take part in this action, it does not necessarily imply optimism as longs and shorts are matched at all times. Now, even though Trump is currently trading 84% below its all-time high, it remains a top 10 token in terms of volume. And in fact, excluding the stablecoins, only 4 cryptocurrencies surpassed Trump's impressive $3.84 billion in its 24-hour turnover period, according to CoinGecko data. Now, despite this huge trading activity, a single promotional event with President Trump is unlikely to create lasting demand for the Trump meme coin, putting the current price at $13.15 in check. So unless the project eases investors' concerns about token unlocks, there is hardly a way to justify the 50% premium versus cryptocurrencies that offer utility and prospective growth. Now, it is worth noting that Shiba Inu, another meme coin with no real utility, presently trades at a $8 billion market cap. Hence, one could easily argue that a token officially supported by the sitting US president is worth far more, paving the way for a $30 or higher price target for Trump. So where do you guys think this is going to go? Do you think Trump's still going to keep progressing forward? Is it going to go up again? Can it top Shiba Inu's meme coin or even Dogecoin's meme coin narrative, or not narrative, but popularity? Let's just say that. I don't know. Can Trump be favored worldwide? Because again, we got to remember, crypto is a worldwide thing. It's definitely will be favored as a meme in the US for all the Trump supporters out there. But for the rest of the world, I don't know. When it comes to other altcoins and memes, yeah, they're going to Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Pepe, because that's it's universal. But when we see Trump, it's just more of just a US thing and Trump supporters. So we'll see how this plays out. I agree that I don't think this will last long, but this pump is definitely because people want to have that dinner with Trump. So I would definitely love to have a dinner with Trump. So we'll see how high Trump coin can go on. But I feel like these price actions will probably only continue on until the dinner actually happens. Because again, it's like a contest right now. He just made this into a contest. Who can have the most Trump coins out there? Whoever the top 10 was it? They said they were the top 10. Official Trump launch day. Surely get it. Trump marks. Just trying to briefly didn't say how many people were in it. Let's see, dinner for a Trump meme coin holder. So yeah, it doesn't say how many people it is, but it's just a handful of people. So it's a competition going on. But that's the news on Trump coin and why it was pumping today. Now let's move on to some XRP news. What's going on with XRP? Well, it's not the token itself, but the ledger was compromised. We were warned by a validator of the project and developers of this critical issue. So let's learn about this and see how we can keep our XRP protected if we do hold some. So here we go. So an XRP ledger validator has warned projects and developers that the network is compromised. He revealed that some critical issues on the network, which put users and their funds at risk of an exploit. Now, validators warn that XRP ledger is compromised. In an X post, the XRP ledger validator vet told the network developers and projects that use the XRPL JavaScript library not to update or use any version that's 4.2.1 or higher. So you see that, guys? So if you're using XRP ledger library, do not use anyone higher than this, because anything after that has been compromised. So he remarked that any project utilizing the newest version of XRPL is putting users and funds at risk of an attack from a hacker. So just to stay safe, guys, if there is an update, if you see that yours is higher than that, you may want to move over to a different wallet out there. Now, Vetsar warning was in response to a post by Aikido Security, in which they stated that they had discovered a backdoor in the official XRP ledger NPM package. And the blockchain security firm added that this backdoor steals private keys and sends them to attackers. The affected versions of 4.2.1 and 4.2.4, so developers and projects should not upgrade to these versions at all. Now, Ripple's chief technology officer, David Schwartz, also commented on the ledger situation, noting that it was just an XRPL.JavaScript from NPM that was compromised. He also alluded to a post by Ripple senior software engineer, Mayuka Vadari. Vadari mentioned that the ledger itself is unaffected by the malware. Now, the engineer confirmed that the malware packages only affected services that use XRPL.js and were upgraded to the malicious versions. Now, that were published about a day ago. He added that GitHub remains safe and only NPM has been compromised. Vadari urged users to avoid services that have access to their private keys and seed phrases until they have confirmed that these services are unaffected by the malware. So this so either move them to a new wallet that's using it, or at least just hold on to it. Just be safe, but be aware that this is happening. If you see an upgrade to the XRP ledger, do not do it. Now, XRPL's foundation provides updates on this. So the XRP Ledger Foundation also provided an update on the malware situation in an X post. The foundation clarified that the vulnerability is in XRPL.js, a JavaScript library for interacting with the XRPL. They further stated that the vulnerability does not affect the network's code base or the GitHub repository itself. Meanwhile, the foundation urged projects using XRPL.js to upgrade to the v4.25 immediately. Okay, so if you are using this XRPL.js, actually, switch over to the 4.25 one, because I guess 4.24 anywhere between that was not good. But the XRP Ledger Foundation also confirmed in a thread that it had deprecated the compromised XRPL.js version on NPM. And they mentioned that they will share a detailed post-mortem soon, and again, urge projects and developers to ensure that they are using versions 4.2.5 or 2.14.3. So just be aware. Now, in another X post, the foundation announced that it had published an updated NPM package for users of the 2.14.x branch to remove the previously compromised version, and they asked XRP Ledger users just to update immediately to the version, just to prevent the attack. So if you're users of the XRP JavaScript library, just be aware of this right now. You may need to do a quick little upgrade for that. So just be aware. Now let's move on to some Helium news out there. What's going on? I feel like I covered this article, but I can't remember. But let's go over it again if we did. But Helium partners with AT&T to bring Wi-Fi to thousands of U.S. locations. So Helium's still in the picture. We're still getting articles. They're still making partnerships. So let's go see what they're up to. Helium partnered with AT&T to provide its users with automatic access to Helium's decentralized Wi-Fi network. these guys are, wait, what are those boards called? These are like the boards from Back to the Future. I always wish I had one of those guys. It looks so cool. But okay, getting sidetracked. The Telecommunications Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network, or DPIN, project Helium partnered with the U.S. telecom giant AT&T to bring Wi-Fi to its users. According to an April 24th announcement shared with Cointelegraph, as part of the partnership, AT&T customers can now connect to Helium's community-built Wi-Fi network. Helium mobile data shows that the network includes over 93,500 hotspots, and most of which are in the United States, from what we can see from this chart. And the Helium network is run by individuals and businesses that acquire and operate small cell towers that act as hotspots. Now, those individuals are rewarded with digital assets for their help in developing the network and providing coverage. Now, Helium's mobile network division co-founder and CEO Amir Halim said that they're partnering with an industry leader such as AT&T will rapidly accelerate the adoption of Helium and provide real-world value to both network participants and the partner customers. Now, he also hinted that this is only the beginning and that more announcements are to come. So, interesting. I wonder what else. Maybe they got some more partnerships down the road. Are they going with AT&T and Verizon and Metro PCO? No, it's a Metro PCO. He's had a bad word for that one, so it was never good. But who knows? But they said this is just the beginning. But kudos on this AT&T partnership. Now let's talk about how centralized and decentralized are now united. So the integration with AT&T enables Wi-Fi authentication via AT&T's Passpoint Wi-Fi roaming service that allows customers to automatically connect to Wi-Fi networks when participating networks are available. And with this system's decentralized nodes are integrated into a traditional service network. Helium claims that its decentralized network already has over 800,000 daily users leveraging it for connections, and the firm has signed agreements with Telefónica Movistar in Mexico and is working with the other unspecified mobile network operators that leverage the network to enhance their coverage, and the deal follows Helium's mobile's announcement of a free plan in February, which the company claims is the first free phone plan in the US. And I remember covering that article, so you may want to go back and find it. But a storied company. In January, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission filed a lawsuit against Helium developer Nova Labs. The lawsuit was filed just days before the previous SEC chair Gary Gensler stepped down, and they alleged that the company sold unregistered investment products. Now, earlier in April, the SEC settled with Nova Labs and dismissed the lawsuit after a payment of $200,000 in civil penalties. Now, a company representative said at the time that the outcome establishes the selling of hardware and distributing tokens for network growth does not automatically make them securities in the eyes of the SEC, and that the SEC cannot bring these charges against Helium again. So this was kind of a win. They did pay for that situation going on, but I wonder if they just waited just a little bit longer, held off, and it just would have been dropped, because we saw the SEC drop so many cases, like since we had the new chair, the new board. It was like Ripple got freed. Richard Hart was also beat the US in that one. So like they were just like clearing out lawsuits from the previous administration out there. So, but because they did go through this, double jeopardy. Helium cannot be brought up into this again. So way to go. But awesome on the partnership with AT&T, and I look forward to seeing what news is going to come ahead for you guys. Now let's take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors and then continue on with some more altcoin news for you. Here we go.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing Calyx Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty Laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges, it's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At Calyx Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calyxsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. Calyx Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calyxsolutions.io.
And we are back. Welcome back, guys. We are covering altcoin news today because, there wasn't so many Bitcoin news articles as we've seen in the previous week because, there was so much Bitcoin news. But I always like getting altcoin news because I do have a portfolio with altcoins out there. And I do want to see a couple of extra X's out there. And as long as I follow the news, keeps me on track with it. So let's move on to this next article regarding Solana's foundation and how they are shifting validator strategy to promote a more self-sufficient blockchain. Now, the new policy will remove long-term validators with minimal external stake, promoting decentralization while also addressing certain concerns. So the Solana Foundation is implementing a new validator onboarding and offboarding policy designed to increase network decentralization and reduce validator reliance on the foundation's support. Now, for every new validator joining the Solana Foundation Delegation Program, otherwise known as SFDP, 3 validators will be removed if they have been eligible for delegation for at least 18 months and have attracted less than 1,000 SOL in outside stake, according to Ben Hawkins, head of staking ecosystem at the Solana Foundation. Now, Hawkins' statement on Discord was shared on X by Mert Mumtaz, the CEO of Helios. The initiative comes as Foundation delegated stake has declined over the years. Now, Egan Layers, head of special projects known online as Keto, raised the issue, citing data from StakeView. He said, while it is impressive to see that the Solana Foundation control over the network has been on a decreasing trend since 2022 in terms of the percentage of active staked owned, it would be beneficial to have more visibility into the Foundation's impact on the total number of validators, Keto told Decrypt. Now, he did say that transparency improves our industry. Now, Keto claimed that in a post that the most validators on chain only exist because the Solana Foundation spawned them, adding that these validators get 90 to 100% of the staking fund from Solana Foundation. Without it, they'd collapse. So this is why a lot of us out there always said that Solana was a really centralized system out there, not so decentralized as they claim to be. But by making this move and switch, if they do go through with it, it is going to eventually make it more decentralized and eventually, hopefully, out of the centralization side of it all. But while the data presented is a bit old, it reveals a gap in how Solana presents itself. Keto suggested that we only see the surface of reality's perception. Now, responding to these, Max Resnick, lead economist at Solana-focused R&D firm Anza, claimed that they are in the process of slowly winding down the SFDP. Now, many validators that are now self-sufficient started as an SFDP recipient, and Resnick said on X, responding to Keto, validators count is a vanity metric, and validators with epsilon stake actually hurt the network's performance, he claimed. Now, the Solana Foundation did not immediately return Decrypt's request for comment on it, but research published by Helios in August 2024 estimated that if the SFDP were immediately discontinued, approximately 57% of all Solana validators would struggle to maintain profitable operations, as they couldn't cover operational costs, and most of which are spent on voting fees. Still, the move for self-reliance among validators is seen as bullish for Solana. Self-reliance among validators strengthens Solana's Nakamoto's coefficient, a measure of decentralization, making it more resilient and as a higher coefficient indicates broader stake distribution among validators. Now, according to Helios, the network's coefficient in November 2024 was frequently cited as 19, while acknowledging that it is likely to be lower. So hopefully it does get lower on that. But that is our Solana news for you. So I really do hope they make this change because Solana is really up and coming. They did outbeat Ethereum for staked for a brief moment out there. But now that we see this with validators, was it just those guys doing it? Not really more decentralized out there. So this shift will definitely help Solana in the long run. So way to go. Now let's move on to some Polygon news and PYCE. Yeah, because Polygon and Pice news, they're bringing tokenized EV fleets to Dubai, and they are eyeing India as an expansion as well. So again, yes, we have altcoin news up the wazoo right now. We just covered XRP, we covered Trump Coin, we covered Helium, Solana, now we're covering Polygon, and I believe this is the last one. Next article is going to be about how LAPD recovered some mining equipment. But let's hear about this EV fleet that Polygon's bringing us. So with tokenized vehicles now live, Polygon and PYCE or PICE says India's EV market is ripe for blockchain-powered greens infrastructure. So look at that nice little bike right there. Is that an electric bike? Maybe. But Polygon Labs is moving electronic motors on chain in Dubai, and India might be next. The Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution has teamed up with sustainable infrastructure startup Pice to tokenize a fleet of electric delivery vehicles in Dubai, using Polygon's blockchain to anchor asset ownership and real-time data collection. Now, here is that tweet from Pice. A new era of real world assets is here, and it starts with EV bikes. Now, here's why it matters, and it goes on with a long post. Now, Polygon's latest foray into tokenized infrastructure seeks to combine stable, revenue generating electric vehicles with dynamic data monetization, while laying the groundwork for major expansions into India's growing electric vehicle sector. Now, one of the big focuses for Polygon is real world assets. Now, Ashwari Gupta, Polygon's global head of payments and liquidity, told Decrypt that, and we want to ensure that anything which can be tokenized makes its way to Polygon. Each motorcycle is equipped with Pisces' proprietary D-pin mining machine, turning the vehicle into a data gathering node while performing routine deliveries. The device collects urban metrics like air quality, road wear, and noise pollution, and feeds that information on chain, and then rewards are distributed via token incentives verified by partner protocols. Now, this combination of two worlds, Harshit Garg, Pice's co-founder, told Decrypt that he described the initiative as a real yield through green assets and the speculative upside from a decentralized data. Now, Garg noted that Pice is addressing financial gaps in green mobility and also laying the foundation for infrastructure for a decentralized, data-rich mobility economy. Now, the combination of real-world assets, backed yield, and D-pin infrastructures tokens with incentives allows contributors to earn from both the asset and its data output. Now, first Dubai, next India. So according to the company's Dubai rollout is just the beginning, and India's electric mobility sector is growing at 18% annually, which is the next target. Now, India's B2B EV and the last mile logistics market is fragmented and underfunded. Garg said, adding that blockchain-backed models could help operators access funding sources beyond traditional institutions. Now, Pice's tokenization framework allows for fractional co-ownership of EV assets with revenue sharing based on usage and contract terms. I guess that's cool. So it can be shared among like partial ownership. So I could own one piece of it, you can own another piece, or who knows how big they're going to do the fractionalization of it. But so they're going to be doing that off of there. So pretty cool. Now, the deployed vehicle is already operated under fixed rental agreements in the UAE, anchoring that the real-world assets with stable returns. At the same time, the DMM adds a speculative layer, minting tokens that can be earned by collecting high-value verified data. While India's crypto regulation remains ambiguous for the time being, Gupta has said that Polygon's role is infrastructural in this project. Now, Polygon is just a blockchain platform where the tokenizing is happening, he said, and Pice would be working to ensure compliance. Now, Gupta said that the company's infrastructure is evolving to meet the needs of asset classes like tokenized EVs, and there are a couple of real-world assets-based and Layer 2s using Polygon CDK, he said. Lumia and Libra, for example, are real-world assets focused with CDKs, referring to custom Layer 2 chains built within Polygon's chain and their development kit. Now, let's talk about how India is ripe for a D-pin. Now, Pice plans to begin its India expansion with its last mile logistics fleets before moving into ride hauling and mid-mile delivery. The India market is ripe for the D-pin segment, and Garg explained that given its own growing scale in India, the first phase begins with the last mile delivery, and the same model can be extended to ride hailing and first and mid-mile delivery segments immediately after. Now, data collected by the DMMs in Dubai is already being provided to insurance companies, OEMs, and logistic providers in exchange for their native token. Now, the value distribution changes based on the quality of data, usage of the vehicle, etc., and hence is different from each case, Garg said. However, we make sure that each related party benefits from the DMM layer. Now, Gupta explained that this live use model solves a long-standing problem with RWA implementations. Most tokenized assets to date, like real estate or bonds, are static, and Pice's model, he said, introduces real-time data collection and yield, a next phase for real-world assets. Now, to discourage spam or manipulation, Pice's D-pin modules reward fresh, high-value inputs, said Garg, and it's not about volume, it's about value. So to ensure integrity, Pice said its models are co-developed with vehicle manufacturers and natively recorded all data on-chain before any processing happens. Now, for DMN models, partner protocols independently verify data's authenticity before distributing the rewards to our nodes. Now, in the long term, Pice wants to build a decentralized data DAO to allow stakeholders to govern, monetize, and trade collected data. Garg said that the demand is already evident across logistics and OEM partners, and that Indian urban data has value, not just locally, but across Southeast Asia. Now, Gupta sees projects like Pisces as potential gateway for a broader blockchain adoption in India, particularly in sectors far beyond just finance. Now, Pisces' successful EV tokenization in the UA is a strong proof of blockchain's real-world potential, he said. And now, once regulator frameworks mature in India, this model can become a valuable addition to the country's growing Web3 ecosystem. So exciting times right there. More real-world assets coming into play. When they say India, though, it's like India used to be like the worst place for crypto and blockchain technology. Just that's how it was back in these last 4 years. So they have been working on a couple of other stuff. So like they were almost like on par with the US on like how just they didn't want it. They just stifled the innovation of blockchain's adoption. But who knows if they got a little bit better. I think they have, but I think they're still just as bad when it comes to taxation on crypto transactions. But yeah, so they're going to be heading there next, and definitely the EV is a good sector to be a part of. But I like how Pice is bringing in the real world assets and giving them some yield bearing soon. So very cool. Now let's move on to our last article of the afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this video. But it's going to go over LAPD recovers 2.7 million worth of Bitcoin miners stolen in an airport heist. So they got it back. The Los Angeles Police Department said that it had seized $2.7 million worth of Bitcoin mining rigs allegedly stolen at the city's airport from shipment bound for Hong Kong. So the Los Angeles Police Department has recovered the $2.7 million worth of Bitcoin mining machines it alleged were stolen by a crime ring in a heist at the city's airport. The LAPD said on April 22nd that the detectives from its cargo theft unit, along with the city's port police, the railroad-based Union Pacific Police, and the city's airport police arrested Oscar David Borrero Manchola and Yonica Rafael Martinez Ramos over the thefts. Authorities claim that the pair are prominent members of a South American crime ring tied to theft and sales of stolen goods in and around Los Angeles. Now, the LAPD said searches of storage unit facilities in the San Fernando Valley, northeast of downtown Los Angeles, recovered $4 million worth of stolen goods, including the Bitcoin mining rigs taken from Los Angeles International Airport. As the shipment was about to be loaded onto a plane headed to Hong Kong, detectives also found and seized over $1.2 million in alleged stolen tequila, clothing, shoes, speakers, coffee, body wash, and pet food. Now, who steals pet food? Now, here is that shipment container. No, here's that cargo unit that they found the mining rigs, food, and all that stuff in it. Now, Borrero Mancholo and Martinez Ramos were booked at Van Nuys Jail in the city's northwest. Borrero Manchola was cited with receiving stolen property and was released, while Martinez Ramos was arrested on no bail warrant. The LAPD said that the investigation remains ongoing and additional arrests may follow. Now, crypto mining rigs fetch top dollar right now. The LAPD didn't share the number of machines it seized or what model the rigs are, but a typical current model for a Bitcoin mining machine sells for $3,000 to $5,000 or over that. Now, U.S. law enforcement has recovered stolen crypto miner rigs in the past in July, and the LAPD said it arrested a man it alleged was in possession of the stolen Bitcoin mining rigs worth $579,000, seizing them from a cargo van and storage unit. Can I take a look at this? Are these an ASIC miner? No, that kind of looks similar to that, but no, look at that pile of them right there. Dang. Now, one of the largest thefts of Bitcoin mining rigs happened in late 2017 and early 2018 in Iceland, where a group robbed data centers to make off with over 600 machines. That's crazy. Now, the rigs were reportedly ended up in China, as just 3 months after they were stolen, Chinese authorities seized a similar number and model of mining rigs in Tianjin, a city southeast of the capital of Beijing. So it's not the first time some mining rig's been stolen, but it looks like that 2017 one was definitely a bigger one if they're hitting a data center. But these ones, this one's pretty big too. If they stole them from a actually the LA, what, they stole them at the airport? Was that LAX they stole it from? But oh man, so that is pretty ballsy to do that. But yeah, so luckily the LAPD recovered it. What are they going to do with it? Most likely sell it. I think that's what happens. We covered an article once before on like what does governments usually do with it. They usually sell it. Like when it comes to crypto, they seize it, they get it to auction, eventually get sold off there. But with new rules and everything changing in the States, who knows? Maybe, I don't know how it's all going to change out. Will it be implemented to cities, states out there? Because with the reserve, we don't want to sell any more Bitcoin that has been recovered. So are we going to utilize it? So are we going to make any more changes with this? I'd like to know that. But maybe we'll find out at one of these roundtable events that are taking place. But that is it for the news for you today. Today is going to be a very busy day here at the Crypto Club. We got classes, we have events, and just a whole bunch of other work that needs to get done. But hey, it's a great day. I hope everyone has a fabulous Thursday. I'll see you again tomorrow, Friday, for our final show of the week at noon. And again, we'll be back the following week for some more crypto news articles. So I'll see you then. Take care, guys.
Tired of jumping through hoops to buy Bitcoin? Frustrated with endless paperwork and invasive identity checks? Introducing Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club's loan program. No KYC required. Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to freedom. Borrow up to $250,000 at as little as 7% interest. Join our community and take control of your financial future. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where privacy meets opportunity. Connect with like-minded individuals and grow together. Visit us today and unlock your $250,000 Bitcoin loan. Your journey to financial freedom starts here.